Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Felicia and this is The Feminine Fancy. If you're new here, I make videos on femininity, lifestyle, and just overall motivation and womanhood topics. In today's video, we are going to be talking about how you can be the main character of your life. Now, obviously, I know that this is very trendy. A lot of people have made videos on this. There's a lot of TikToks about it. And so, of course, I have to throw in my 2 cents here and let you know what I think you can do to be the main character of your life, and also how I started being the main character of my life. If you watched my most recent video, or no, my second most recent video, why you're not living the life you want, then you already kind of have a good foundation for this topic, because I kind of talked about the setbacks and the things that hold us back from being who we authentically want to be. So if you want to check that video out, I will link it in the description box below. Also, my outfit details will be in the description box below as well. Okay, so the way I see it, being the main character of your life is basically just centering yourself in your life and making sure that the focus comes back to you. And I don't think that it's intended to be something that is really selfish or something where you just ignore other people and you don't care about other people. I don't think that that's it at all. I think that sometimes we can have a tendency to focus so much of our time and energy and effort on other people and on how other people are living their lives, what they're doing, what we see on Instagram, where they're flying to, where they're vacationing, so much so that we stop centering ourselves in our own lives. So I don't want you guys, I don't want anyone to ever think like that this is just some selfish movement that's going on, because of course, as you guys know, I still think it's really important to get out, get involved, volunteer, do all of those things that are really good for character building. But I do think that this sort of new notion of being the main character of your life is more so just about not focusing your energy so much on other people and other people's lives. Ultimately, it's about not centering other people in your life, because we do this a lot and we might not even notice it. You can center ex-boyfriends, ex-best friends, just other people who might be irrelevant to you at this present moment, but because they take up so much of your mental space, it's almost like you're a side character in their movie instead of being the main character in your own movie. So every time that you are creeping on your ex's new girlfriend, or every time that you are phantom scrolling on TikTok, you're centering other people instead of finding ways that you can build and grow your own life and really enjoy your life, as opposed to focusing all of your attention, all of your mental energy on someone else who's not in your life anymore. I think for me, the thing that really hit home, I was watching a TikTok, of course. This girl, she said like, nothing exists besides this moment. And I had heard that before, but it didn't really hit me until she said it. What she went on to explain was that everything before this moment is a memory, and everything after this moment hasn't happened yet. So the only thing that really exists is right this very second. And I think with being the main character, it's really important to let that sink in. When I let that sink in and I was like, wow, things that happened in my past only exist as memories. They're not right now. They're not present. And so to focus on something that isn't in existence anymore is to create a life that's based on memories. So without further ado, I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can be the main character of your life. I know I said I wasn't going to do as many list videos, but I think that this is a really good video to do a list for. But before we jump into that, if you are enjoying this video so far, if you are enjoying the new location, my new apartment, and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the red subscribe button. We're trying to get to 200,000 or 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and many of you, I'm sure, have not hit that red button yet, or the notifications bell, which is how you will be notified when my videos come up. So make sure that you hit the button, become part of the family, so that you don't miss any of the new content, especially if you're interested. I put a poll on Instagram to see who would be interested in how I sort of decorate the apartment, and if you guys want me to film that process. So that's going to be a completely separate series on the channel. So if you want to see those videos, you're going to want to be subscribed, because you'll get to see the whole process and all my beautiful furniture that I'm getting. And yeah, I'm so excited. Also, I want to thank my fabulous patrons for helping me continue to make this content. If you guys really do love The Feminine Fancy and you want to support me, then head to my Patreon and you'll get access to additional content over there, behind the scenes things. I'm trying really hard to balance Patreon with YouTube, but I have been putting videos and content up there. We also just had the first ever Feminine Fancy workshop. It was with Mama Fancy. It was on dating and relationships, and it went off with without a hitch? I don't know the phrase, but it went really well. And so if you want to be a part of those sorts of patron perks, I will leave the link to my Patreon in the description box below. So thank you to Nilan Bolima, Ashley J, and Bambi Exotics. I am so thankful for you. Okay, so the first way that I became the main character of my life was that I just stopped centering people who were no longer in my life. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, sometimes we have a tendency to center people who just aren't in our lives anymore, right? Like, I think so many of us do this. We kind of ruminate and like we're venting to all of our friends about something that happened a long time ago or something that just isn't in the present moment. And so for me, not centering those people and working to get out of that habit energy of like falling into a rabbit hole of thinking about, you know, the situation or whatever, that really helped me to center my life and to make decisions for myself that were the best for me and that were going to help me grow and enjoy my life the most. The people who are not in your life anymore don't deserve your mental energy. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve anything. If they have chosen to step out of your life, or if you chose to let them walk out of your life, either way, they're gone and they don't deserve any of your time or attention anymore. The second way I became the main character of my life is that I stopped letting embarrassment get in the way. I will be so honest with you guys right now, with this channel, like when the views weren't up and when things seemed to start slowing down, I almost started to get embarrassed and I didn't really want like other people outside of my subscribers to know I had this YouTube channel. There was this element of embarrassment of like, you know, whenever someone's like, what kind of channel do you have? And you're, and I have to say, like motivational and like, you know, and femininity and woman inspiring, you know, I had this sense of embarrassment when I would talk about it and I kind of just had to let that go. And if someone asks me, what is it that I do? What kind of content that I create? I have now shifted my perspective to be proud of the fact that I have this community and really work to grow it and water it and nurture it because I am really, really thankful. And I love the content that I make. And so I stopped letting embarrassment get in the way. If there's something that you want to do, but you haven't done it specifically because you're embarrassed, I would advise you to just like work on getting over that initial embarrassment, right? Because I don't think that people really actually care. Like, I don't think anyone really cares that much to the point where like they will comment and say like, wow, that's embarrassing. Like, if someone ever does that, then that's that person's problem and they probably feel inadequate because they're probably not doing anything with their life. But you have nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, if you're working on creating something, if you're working on growing something, that's something to be proud and not embarrassed of. And don't worry about like, oh, what are my friends gonna think? Like, what are my old classmates gonna think? Like, I have classmates that I haven't talked to since high school who have messaged me and been like, oh my gosh, you have a YouTube channel, congratulations. And I think we just have to get out of that mindset of being embarrassed all the time because there really is nothing to be embarrassed about. We're all just living. We're all just doing the best that we can with what we have and trying to inspire and be passionate about something along the way. The third way that I became the main character was that I started romanticizing my life. I have a video on this. I have a blog post on this. This is very simple to do. And I think like looking again, like on social media when people talk about this, sometimes it almost can feel overwhelming because you're seeing these like this beautiful scenery and like green smoothies and everyone's doing yoga first thing in the morning, which I don't mind a yoga session first thing in the morning, but it's so simple to romanticize your life. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. You just have to pick one thing out of your day that you're going to do specifically for pleasure. And I know the word pleasure has some like interesting connotations, but what I mean is like the sort of pleasure that's accompanied with like having a cup of tea in a gorgeous teacup or with, you know, getting into a freshly made bed at the end of the night. It's like finding those little aspects of engaging your senses and engaging in things that are pleasurable and that are enjoyable. That's how you romanticize your life. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have this, you know, this amazing 5 a.m. morning routine. All you have to do is just pick one thing throughout the day that you are going to do specifically for this purpose, and that is how you romanticize your life. And when you romanticize your life, you are making yourself the main character because you're focusing in on doing something that is pleasurable comfortable and enjoyable for you, not for anyone else. It's specifically something that brings you joy throughout your day. So the fourth way that I became the main character of my life was that I just started making decisions for me, decisions that I wanted to make, that other people might not have agreed with, that my parents might not have agreed with, but I just did it. And this not only made my life happier and made me more content, but it also just reminded me like, wait, I do have autonomy over my body, over my life, and over my decisions. And I am grown enough and I am capable enough to make those decisions that I think are best for me. So making decisions and not being afraid to make them has really helped me be the main character, because I'm like living the life that I now want to live. It's not a life that, it's not a life that my parents think I should have, or a life that, my friends think I should have, or that society or social media thinks I should have, but it's the life that I want. And that I don't think there's anything more centering than making decisions based off of what it is that you inherently desire. Again, my second to last video on this topic will be really helpful. Again, it'll be linked in the description box below. Okay, the fifth way that I became the main character, this one's specific for me, is that I embraced my femininity even more. So obviously this channel is called The Feminine Fancy. There are little aspects of feminine lifestyle that I already like and that I already had in my day-to-day life, but I embraced it even more in a few ways. And I actually have a few blog posts where I wrote about this, but things like shifting my mindset from hating my time of the month to pampering myself during that time, or even just eating, like trying my best to eat really like nourishing and grounding foods during that time instead of like heading straight to Taco Bell. Also finding a lot of inspiration on Pinterest, honestly, about how I could sort of embrace my feminine in a more spiritual way. So not in this sort of like external way, but in a very sort of spiritual and intentional way. So for me, that has helped to really like refocus why I made this channel and what I want to do with this channel, and like my platform as a whole and the message that I want to put out, and focusing in on that and focusing in on something that I am so passionate about, which is the feminine fancy, has made me remember like, oh, this is something that I created. And focusing in on that and really being grateful for that has helped me be that main character and realize like, hey, I have good ideas too. Like I have passions and talents as well. And I think that's important to remember, especially when you're trying to be the main character, is that you are talented, you are gifted in a way that no one else is gifted or talented. And so if you can find a way to tap into that and share that with the world, that is where you tap into that main character energy. And then finally, this is actually a tip that I know I want to do, but I haven't had the time to do it yet, is do your hobbies. I think when cell phones became a thing and then continued to become a thing, and then social media became a thing, like we just kind of all stopped doing our hobbies. When I was growing up, I had so many hobbies. My mother had me in lessons for literally everything. If you guys haven't watched the interview with my mom that I did, I think last year, I will link that video down below as well. But I had so many hobbies and after school activities and things that I just genuinely loved to do. And as an adult, it's almost like we don't have hobbies. It's like adults can't have hobbies. And then our hobbies kind of turn into like going out to eat, going out to bars, like where are our hobbies? Why do we focus in on work? I mean, this is mostly, I think, a capitalism issue, but why do we focus in on working so much just so that we can like party on the weekends and then we don't have any time to actually participate in the things that we enjoy doing, right? And so for me, like two of my hobbies that I really want to pick back up this year are dance and horseback riding. Yes, I grew up a competitive dancer. I also grew up riding horses for a little while, and those are two things that I absolutely love. But hobbies that you're good at kind of just remind you again, like, wow, I am kind of cool. Like I can do this cool thing, or I have this hobby that I'm taking up and I'm building my identity capital, right? And I'm doing things to actively decide the kind of person that I want to be. And that is main character energy, right? You're not sitting on the sidelines, you're active. There's an action behind this. And so do your hobbies, whatever they were when you were younger, when you were in high school and you had more time, find a way to put them into your schedule. I'm definitely going to find ways to incorporate dance classes into my schedule throughout the work week because it is important to me. It's something that I love to do, and it definitely brings out my main character energy. All right, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, help push it out in the YouTube algorithm, and also leave a comment down below how you like to be the main character of your life. I would love to hear about it. If you're not already following me on Instagram, head to my Instagram at _thefemininefancy_ because I'm going to be showing you more behind the scenes stuff with the apartment, and also you just get to stay up to date about when videos are coming out and things of that nature. Also head to my website at thefemininefancy.com, catch up on any blog posts that you've missed. I haven't done one since getting back from Colorado, but I promise they are coming very, very soon. And again, if you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button. It's totally free, and help me get to 200 or 300,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!